my childhood heroes, Bryan Goodhead.
Madam Toastmaster, my story today is about serendipitously getting to meet some of our childhood heroes. My lovely Lady Lorraine and I have always been sentimental about great cartoons. Both of us are singing musicians and we perform all around the area, mostly in retirement homes and assisted living facilities. We played in a bunch of these places, but the one that we'll never forget was the Hanna-Barbera assisted living facility for retired cartoon characters. We were so elated about finally getting to meet them. Now, these guys have gotten a little bit old, and along with age, they've suffered all sorts of peculiar ailments. They don't get old and wrinkly, they just get dull and pixelated. We arrived right on time, and Lorraine went to the front office to introduce herself to Mr. Hanna and Mr. Barbera, and I began toting in the gear from the truck to take to the recreation room to begin setting up for the show. As I walked down the hallways, I passed by the bedroom of Snagglepuss, who had just had to move out of his West Hollywood penthouse because he was no longer able to clean his own cat box. He wasn't exactly sure where he was, but his personality was as flamboyant as ever. Heavens to Murgatroyd! Exit the closet, stage left even. Here I am, the king of the jungle, or maybe more like queen of the jungle, but it's don't ask, don't tell, don't you know. As I trot along further, I passed by the bedroom of Yogi Bear and Boo Boo. I stuck my head in and I could tell that they were watching a Discovery Channel documentary about the 2009 BP Gulf oil spill. Hi there, Boo. I got some exciting news for you. Gee, what is it, Yogi? British Petroleum called. They're going to pay us 100 million picnic baskets to have you change your name to BP. But why, Yogi, why? So they can officially call the Gulf oil spill a boo-boo, hey! Thank you. So I got to the recreation room and began setting up the equipment when suddenly I saw my favorites of them all, Quick Draw McGraw and Baba Louie. Oh my, I love these guys. And apparently Quick Draw hadn't taken his medication and recognized his former colleagues thinking that they were bandits. Now Baba Louie, on the other hand, had become quite the liberal, very politically correct, and boy did he ever give Quick Draw a hard time. Well, Baba boy, we're surrounded by Pancho Villa and 200 of his desperados. Looks like we're done for.
What you mean we, Caballero Blanco y Stupido Quistro? Me and my Pachucos are tired of all this stereotyping. We're calling our lawyers Rapido, Frito Di Bandito, Dora the Explorer, and I are all going to file a class action lawsuit against you, Quistro. Sonia Sotomayor is a Supreme Court justice, and now you're going to get it, gringo.
Well, finally got all the equipment set up. Lorraine and I began to sing and play. We played the themes to all of their shows, and Lorraine sang her usual smedley of great songs by Gershwin, Cole Porter, and Irving Berlin, when suddenly Doggy Daddy spoke up and said, "Everybody wants to get in a duet," and he insisted on singing As Time Goes By, which we were happy to oblige. You must remember this, a kiss is still a kiss, a sigh is just a sigh. And then his boy Augie spoke up and said,
That's great, dear old Dad, but you sound like you've been taking too much of that medication called Jimmy Durandamine.
We had a great time singing other songs, such as Nat King Cole's I'm Forgetful, Billy Ray Cyrus's Achy Breaky Hip, and of course the Beatles' I Get Dry with a Little Help from Depends. All in all, it was an awesome afternoon getting to meet all of our childhood heroes, and when we were done with our performance, Mr. Hanna and Mr. Barbera personally wrote us a check, and they even added a gratuity. Nothing like a gratuity check, but what's more important is that we take time to set ourselves aside and go and visit those less fortunate than us, so we prefer to think of it as a gratitude check. Then suddenly, Snagglepuss spoke up and said, "Hey, you gotta get going. Scram already. You're late for your gig at Looney Tunes Manor. Exit stage left."